Welcome to Expert Views on ADR Ever, a podcast about simplifying alternative dispute resolution in a bid to attract more users to settle their disputes or conflicts with these alternatives: mediation, arbitration, negotiation, conciliation, and early neutral evaluation. My name is DrChinweEgbunike, postdoctoral fellow at the University of Brighton, United Kingdom. I'm delighted to welcome Professor Andrew Chukwuemerie to the EVER Show. He is a lawyer and a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN. SAN is a title that may be conferred on legal practitioners in Nigeria of not less than 10 years of standing and who have distinguished themselves in the legal profession. It is the equivalent of the rank of Queen's Counsel in the United Kingdom. He is a professor of law at Rivers State University and a partner in the law firm of Okibe Lawhouse, Legal Practitioners and Arbitrators, Port Harcourt, Nigeria. Prof is a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, UK, and the author of 5 well-received law practitioners textbooks and about 60 articles published in different areas of law. Prof wears many hats, so I've left the link to his profile below. Thank you so very much, Prof, for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so without further ado, let's go straight to the question. Question number 1 is, how far has ADR been able to enhance access to justice in Nigeria?
Okay, ADR has greatly enhanced access to justice in Nigeria, particularly in the recent years. Before now, if you talked about justice, many people would think of litigation, going to court. Not much was known about arbitration and the ADRs until some 20-25 years ago. And even then, not many people knew about arbitration and ADRs. And but over time, it has gained traction, it has gained popularity, and the use of it has greatly increased. So many people now, instead of going to court where they waste a lot of time and money and other things on a comparative analysis basis, they go to arbitration, they go to mediation, they go to conciliation. And because of that, many people have access to justice. They can litigate, to use the term loosely. They can have their disputes examined by experts, persons who are knowledgeable in the area of law and of facts that are related to their disputes. And what is more, they'll resolve their disputes and leave them still being friends.
Yeah.
Much less of what would happen in the courts if they went to court. So to answer the question in a few words, ADR has greatly enhanced the access to justice by Nigerians and people who live in Nigeria.
Yeah. All right, thank you. And I like the part of the now people think about ADR and, you know, they think about they feel they've gotten justice or they would get justice via ADR, unlike before that justice means litigation for most people in Nigeria. Okay, so thank you so very much. So question 2 is there any measurable difference or impact on the cost and time frame for settling disputes under ADR compared to litigation?
Okay, that's question number 3 on my decision. The question number 2 is the function of National Industrial Court in Nigeria.
Okay, yes, go for it. Go for it then. It doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
The function of the National Industrial Court, it is a court of litigation.
Yeah.
Litigation properly so called.
Okay.
But it also has an ADR window.
Okay.
Persons who go to the National Industrial Court can, instead of having their matter litigated, they can go to arbitration, for instance, and they can go and try mediation and in very few cases conciliation. So the National Industrial Court is playing a great role in the development of ADRs and arbitration in Nigeria at the moment.
Okay.
And we hope it goes on doing so.
Okay. So question number 3, I hope that's what you have. Is there any measurable difference or impact on the cost and time frame of settling disputes under ADR compared to litigation?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
The measurement, one may not have data to say so and so percentage is impact or so, but it is obvious to anybody who operates in the dispute settlement system that with respect to cost and time, arbitration is much faster. But when you are talking of costs, costs in terms of money paid out by the parties, without considering any other thing, it may be said that arbitration, for instance, and mediation may be dearer, may be more expensive to the parties. But when other things are considered, when time is considered, for instance, and other issues, then with respect to costs and even time frame, the ADRs and arbitration, they're doing a great job. So in comparison to litigation, with respect to time, the parties get justice at a shorter time. Okay. And with respect to costs, they also get it at where all things considered, it's cheaper than litigation.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. So, are employees aware of ADR options regarding disputes or conflict that might arise at the workplace?
Yes, some employees are, but the popularity of arbitration and ADRs may not have grown amongst in the workplace. Okay. So many employees may not know the advantages they stand to reap or stand to gain if they go to arbitration and ADRs. But with the coming on stream of the National Industrial Court and the wonderful job that arbitration institutions like the Chartered Institute of Arbitrators are doing, many people are getting to know about arbitration in the workplace. Okay, all right, thank you.
So to what extent are employees encouraged to use ADR to settle discrimination, bullying, and harassment in the workplace in Nigeria?
Well, when you talk of discrimination, bullying, and harassment, I'm not aware presently of any disputes that has been settled through arbitration, for instance, but there may be ones that I do not know of personally that have been settled through mediation. Yeah. The issues of discrimination, bullying, and harassment in the workplace, they occur in Nigeria, but for people to bring them out and say, oh, I've been this is not good and all of that. Not many people are doing that for now.
Yes.
Some people would rather suffer in silence than come and speak up.
Yeah. Why is that so, Prof? Is it because of the culture, or why are people not speaking up?
Well, first of all, culture, like you said, is very important here. Cultures die hard. Practices with which people were born, they hardly leave it. And even when they want to leave it, sometimes nobody wants to have stories told about him or her that, oh, you know, this one was harassed in the workplace and all of that. So they would rather keep quiet and let nobody know about it than come out to speak about it.
Okay. Okay, thank you so very much. So why is ADR more prevalent in the more complex society than it is in the less complex society? Nigeria is a given context.
Well, you know that in the more complex societies, people are aware of their rights. People go for the enforcement of their rights. In societies like Nigeria, culture plays a large role. A lot of people would rather, if I use the word, suffer in silence than going to have their matters addressed. So that is basically the explanation.
Okay. All right, thank you. So what is the way forward for mass advocacy or awareness of the benefits of utilizing ADR in settling disputes in the workplace?
Well, the way forward is for people to get more and more aware. The labor unions in Nigeria can do a lot in that respect. They can be in the vanguard of telling their members who are in the workplace that if they suffer discrimination, if they suffer bullying or harassment or any sort of thing, they should speak up. So the labor unions can do a lot in this respect. And the arbitration organizations like Chartered Institute of Arbitrators can also do a lot here by letting people know that those institutes are there ready to serve them if they would come and speak up.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. So can conflict or dispute at the workplace be avoided?
Well, you know that in human interactions, disputes and conflicts are practically unavoidable. Yeah. But can they be reduced? Yes, they can be reduced. They can be minimized as much as possible. But for them to be avoided completely, I guess is not possible.
Okay, thank you. So what type of mediation is best suited for workplace conflict or dispute?
Well, my understanding of this is the avenues for mediation. Mediation in the workplace. Well, so as much as I understand, if managers in the workplace have cultivated the confidence of their workers and such people, there's a great role they can play in mediating disputes between workers and their organizations.
Yeah.
That would be my answer to that question.
Okay. All right. Thank you so very much. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of using mediation to settle workplace conflicts?
The advantages are very many, very plentiful. I may not be able to mention all of them here.
All of them, okay.
But first of all, they are speedy or speedier than any other kind of dispute resolution system.
Okay.
And they are cost-effective, mediation, for instance.
Yeah.
And more than anything else, they preserve existing relationships before the dispute erupted. And that is very necessary. That's very important in the workplace.
Yeah.
That needs to be preserved. All right. Now, talking of disadvantages, there may be, but I cannot immediately now point out any other than the fact that the result of a mediation cannot be enforced in any way, unless it is a mediation in the multi-door courthouse, which by legislation can be enforced as if it's a decision of the High Court. Other than that, results of
Okay. So is there any difference between conciliation and mediation?
There's a great difference. In the main body of the law, there's a difference between mediation and conciliation.
Okay.
Though at the end of the day, their results, they suffer the same be enforced if the parties decide not to obey that result. Mediation is normally done by one person.
Yeah.
It can be more than one person.
Okay.
And the conciliation is more adjudicatory or something like that. Is there a difference? Yes, there's a difference between the two.
Okay.
And even in the custom.
Okay. All right. So the final question is, what is your advice for people pursuing a career in ADR?
The advice is for them to go knowing that monetary remuneration may not immediately be following, but if they go on, they will be rendering a lot. They'll be enhancing access to justice by so many people, particularly in the Nigerian situation where many people may have disputes with other persons, but may not be able to pay the cost of hiring a lawyer to go to courts or do such things. So my advice to anybody who wants to pursue a career in ADR is that it's a good venture. It's a very good thing that anybody can go on and pursue a career in. Those of us who have done it for several years, we have a satisfaction that, look, we're helping a lot of people to access justice. And with time, the monetary payment begins to come. But that should not be anybody's primary aim.
All right. Oh, thank you so very much, Prof, for this masterclass. I appreciate your perspective, and I hope and I believe that potential users of ADR would embrace all the advantages enlisted herein and opt for ADR whenever the need arises. And to my listeners, thank you for your constant support, and stay tuned for next episode on alternative dispute resolution and workplace conflicts in Nigerian perspective. All right, thank you so very much, Prof. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.